Hello, gorgeous goddess. Are you having a bad day? Because I know that I was having a very bad day today and possibly still am. So let's go ahead and talk about how we deal with negative emotions as highly conscious people. So my bad day wasn't really caused by anything in particular, except the fact that I woke up a couple of days ago with some sort of horrible pain in my neck and my back and radiating down one arm. I've seen my healer and she did her best, and I think it will clear up in the next couple of days. But in the meantime, I have been pretty grouchy. And I don't know if that's really what's causing it, but I've just been grumpy and impossible to deal with for the people that I love. So let's go ahead and talk about how we deal with negative emotions as highly conscious people. Because if you are a conscious person who tries to maintain an inner peace or inner zen, then it can be the biggest, most obnoxious thing that you deal with when you just have these bad days and you don't even necessarily know why. There doesn't have to be a reason for it. It's just like, oh my God, I'm having a bad day. I may have already done all my things, my meditation, my self-care, my whatever, and I'm just feeling like junk. So let's talk about what negative emotions are, because it's not a bad thing. I'm not someone who believes that you have to feel positive all the time. That's completely impossible. It's totally fake. It's trying to transcend the human experience, which really isn't the point of being here in a human body. Every time that we feel negative emotions, whether it is just a general, average blah feeling, or an anxiety, a low level stress, an overwhelm, rage, any sort of negative emotion, it always means the same thing. It always means that we have disconnected from our inner source of higher power, which I like to call soul. You can use your own word, inner guidance, God, higher self, quantum field, whatever you feel comfortable calling it. You have disconnected from that flow of life force energy that is meant to be flowing through you. It is simply the case, no matter what's going on in your life, whatever's causing it, whatever emotion you're feeling, if it feels bad, you are disconnecting yourself from that. You can never truly be disconnected, so you are really just perceiving yourself as being disconnected. And let me explain. Your soul is always focusing on things at the same time as you, because your soul is with you, obviously, from birth to death and beyond. Your soul is with you eternally. It is you. It is the life force energy flowing through you. At the same time that you have the soul, which is the true you, you're also down in this body. Your body has its own mix of weather, let's call it. It's like hormones, emotions, trapped memories, traumas, everything that's going on in your body. And you also have your neurology, your brain, and all of its programming from hundreds of thousands of years of human history. And then you have your psychology, your psyche, all the things that have happened to you and perhaps happened back in your family line influencing you. So that's your human experience. So you've got your spirit experience and you've got your human experience. And they're both something you have to deal with every single day if you want to be a highly conscious person. So your soul is always looking at all of the events of your life with this pure, radiant, blissful perspective of eternal love and joy. It really is. It is that expansive. It is that positive. It is that filled with light. And at the same time, you're down here having your human experience. You're the soul, but you're also all those human elements that I mentioned. And if you start to look at things from a different perspective from soul, you actually disconnect your perspective from your soul. So now, instead of being like perfectly aligned with your higher self, your spirit, your soul, you have sort of separated yourself. Of course, you can't truly separate yourself, but you have perceived yourself to be separated. And that feels really bad. It feels really negative. And so there is only one answer. And I don't care if you have experienced the worst devastating tragedy ever known to humanity, or you've just had, spilled coffee on your white silk blouse, whatever it is, there is only one way. There is only one way out, and that is to reconnect to your soul. You have got to reconnect to your soul if you want to feel good ever again. So let's talk about that. There is a meditation that has been scientifically shown to increase your sense of connection and intuition. And I forget all of the science behind it, to be honest. I'll have to refresh it, but I have been using it for years. It only takes a couple of minutes, and it is my number one go-to strategy for plugging back into soul. So this is what I do every single morning, and it is absolutely life-changing. And let's go ahead and do it right now. So it is a heart-centered meditation, and I do this when I start to feel that really funky, disconnected, yucky feeling throughout the day. So that doesn't mean every single day, but anytime that I start to feel that way, I would run off into a bathroom at a party. My children are used to seeing me do it. Maybe not the younger one as much, because I don't know, I've been pretty high vibe since he was born, but my older daughter has seen me do it, and at the start of the pandemic, she saw me doing this many times a day whenever fear arose for me. So fear is, of course, the most disconnecting emotion you can ever have. It's so great to recognize what emotion it is that you're in. And in fact, I would say naming the emotion can be extremely helpful to realize that you're disconnecting from soul. So as soon as you name it and you're like, what am I feeling? Oh my God, I'm anxious. Like right then, you know, that's a disconnection. So let's go ahead and say, if you are having a bad day, then find a moment. It doesn't have to be alone. Even if you really can't get alone, fine. Find a moment to drop into your true self, your true perspective, your true eternal life force energy, your soul. So taking a moment to close your eyes if that feels comfortable, and bringing your focus from out here where all the problems are, up in your head, out in the world, bringing it down back into your body, down into your heart center. Bring your awareness into your center of your chest, and just start to breathe very gently, little sips of air in and out of your heart center. Begin to imagine an incredible ocean of love that is your soul, breathing with you in and out of your heart center. And if you start to feel your shoulders relax a little, or the love permeating through your being, you know that you have reconnected to your soul. And you can do this, it only takes a couple of minutes. You can do this throughout the day as needed. When I'm going through a stressful time, I may do it many times a day, because it is not safe to go out in the world without your connection to your soul. Your soul is your personal guidance system. It is a highly personalized concierge. It is like this amazing warrior protecting you, queen, delivering everything that you want. It is everything all rolled into one, an incredible being that's there for you. So your soul can show you how to get around all of the obstacles that come up in your life. It can tell you how to protect yourself and avoid trouble and trauma. It can show you how to light up the path to everything you've ever desired. So walking out into the world, interacting with other people without being connected to your soul is like it's like being a defenseless little baby left out in the forest overnight. It's just not safe, and it's not smart, and it's not something that I do. So well, I never do it consciously or purposely. I have a policy that I don't make a phone call without connecting into soul, meaning that if I'm feeling yucky, I don't return that call. I don't care, even if it's to my sister and she makes me feel so great. And why wouldn't I call her and let her help me feel better? Well, it's because if I haven't connected to soul, it's not going to be a great conversation. Or if she's in a high vibe place and I'm in a low vibe place, I won't even be able to get a call through to her, and vice versa. I won't get in my car and drive. That really is dangerous if I feel disconnected from soul. So I had a time when I was super disconnected from soul, actually a couple of times I guess I have in my life, and it resulted in car accidents. And one of those was a more serious accident that I dealt with the repercussions for about a decade. So it's really big. It's really important to get that connection in. So this meditation, I love it, but I have to say there have been times when I got up and did my meditation every morning and I didn't connect to soul, and I didn't even know that was the case. I just went around unconscious. I'd say it's not too common for me. It's more common that I might have like some unconscious times during the day if something triggers me, or maybe a few times a week. But there have been periods when I was so blown out by something going on in my life that I just couldn't connect in even when I did the meditation. And so it's really helpful, as well as establishing a regular meditation practice. It's so helpful to know what it is that really makes you feel connected to your soul. And this was a question that one of my two healers that I work with regularly asked me, and they're both amazing women who have been part of our lives for almost 10 years and over 10 years for the other one. She said to me a few months ago, what is it that makes you feel connected to your soul? And right away I said, writing in cursive. And she was like, seriously? Because for her, it's singing. Singing makes her feel connected to her soul. And I kind of amended my answer to say writing in cursive in my journal. It just makes me feel free and makes me feel connected to who I was as a young girl when I used to love to journal in cursive. It just really connects me to my soul. So everybody's got that. Maybe it's dancing that also makes me feel very connected to soul. It could be being with your children, although it's much better if your connection to soul doesn't require other people, because other people can come and go, right? They may not be there that day. So it's really helpful to kind of have a little list of, okay, this is the thing, and to notice, I've been so grumpy lately. Oh my God, I'm not doing that thing. Even for me this morning, I didn't journal. I woke up extra early because I was feeling disconnected. I was like, I'm going to do a super long meditation and get really connected. And it did, but actually if I had taken half that time to journal, maybe I wouldn't have kind of gone back into such a grumpy place today. So let's see, what else do I have to talk about? Okay, so I was asking my soul, what is it that I really need to say on this subject? And the most important thing that soul said to me to share with you is, you don't have time to not connect to your soul. So of course, so often we think, I don't have time to do that. And it's like, your soul can get you back that time. Your soul doesn't operate in linear time. So you don't have time not to, because everything's going to go so smoothly in your life if you are connected into soul, and everything's going to flow your way, and time will expand so you can do the things that you want to do, and time will collapse so that you can zoom through the things that you aren't as excited about. And it's not really about time. It's really about connection. It's something that I'd like to see all of us on Earth adopt over the coming years. Can you imagine what our world would be like if everybody was walking around mostly connected into their higher self at all times? It would be incredible, because our souls have a magical ability to get us personally every single thing that we desire in a way that's actually to the benefit of everyone around us. There is no competition when soul is involved. There is no zero sum. There's no, I won, so you lost. I got this, so you lost this. It is able to work for everyone. It's mystical. It's hard to understand until you've started to experience it yourself, or you probably have experienced it yourself and would like more of it. And it does require connecting to soul. And what a life, what a world it's going to be when we all are connected into that very personal, very highly perfect guidance that we all have available to us. I think that's all I have to share for today. Share in the comments section how you get connected to soul. What is it that connects you? What disconnects you is a good thing to know too. And also, are you making the time every single day to have that connection? And do you notice when you disconnect throughout the day? And then are you taking the time to reconnect? Such important questions, possibly the only important questions. Thanks for sharing this time with me.